Hello, Williams class. For your English lesson today, the learning objective is, can I box up the ideas for my final non-chronological report about a historical figure of my choice? Let's go through the information that you collected in the previous lesson, and we're going to look through the spider diagram that you have created. Now, it's not available in this video of mine. However, what I would like for you to do still is to remember who the leader of your choice was. Now, if you remember, I did say it can be male or female. I remember choosing Malcolm X. So the name of whoever you chose should be in the middle. And then you have to, when you are writing a non-chronological report, you have to talk about everything you possibly can about that person, just to make sure that you're covering all aspects of their life, all about their life. So you can include sections about their early life. You can include fun facts, what they did, and their physical appearance. So what I would like for you to do is look through your plan or your mind map of the leader that you chose to talk about, and just make sure, I would say, to think of at least one point to make in each section. I'll give you an example for Malcolm X. If I was to write about Malcolm X's early life, I would write that he was born in Nebraska. So, born in Nebraska. Now, this mind map doesn't let me obviously write down too many facts, but hey, I can at least model at least one point to make in each mind map. So in the middle of my mind map, I've written Malcolm X, early life, born in Nebraska. A fun fact about Malcolm X, I'm going to actually write that. What can I write as a fun fact about Malcolm X? Now, a fun fact about Malcolm X is that he moved around a lot when he was little. So moved, house, a lot when he was younger. We'll write that. So that's a little fun fact about him. In terms of what Malcolm X did, he stood up a lot for the rights of Black people in America. So stood up for the rights. Right is when you're able to do certain things, and when Malcolm X was around, Black people didn't have as many rights as they do today, and Malcolm X was one of those people, like Martin Luther King, who believed that Black people should have just the same exact rights as any other person. Doesn't matter what color your skin is, doesn't matter where you come from, you should still have the same rights, like the right to live where you want, study where you want, study whatever you want, wear what you want, look how you want. Those are basic human rights, and Malcolm X was one of those people, one of the leaders during the time that he was alive, where he believed that, and he stood up for that. So stood up for the rights of, I'm going to write American Black people. But obviously it was Black people in general, but he was in the US at the time, so I'm going to just stick with that. American Black people. Lovely. And then in terms of his physical appearance, he had the most funky glasses. So I'm going to say square glasses. What else about him? I'm going to say that he was always looked really smart. Always looked smart. Cool. So those are it's just a model of how you would do your mind map of a leader of your choice. Remember, male or female. Okay, let's use the information to box up some ideas. So we're going to now plan our final non-chronological report. We're going to use the information that we have collected. Make sure to only use keywords and ideas. Now, because we all have different leaders that we are going to be writing about, my model is going to look a little bit different to yours, but what's going to be the same, hopefully, are the features, what our non-chronological report should include, every single one of our non-chronological reports. So what I would do if I was you is I'd write the name of the leader in this box. Ooh, that M. Hang on a minute, boys and girls. Let's just erase that real quick. There we go. Go back to our pen. I'd write the name of the leader here just so you can go back to that to remind yourselves, who am I writing about again? And then, now innovation, remember, means what you make up, so your ideas. Just to remind you, they're not my ideas, they're not somebody else's, they are your ideas, what you want to include. The reason why we call it innovation and why it's different to the rest of our box up is because we've already done a box up of Mrs. Bowen's, or when we were writing up our non-chronological report for her or about her, we already did that box up. Now that box up is different to this box up because it is about a different person and it has different information, but the features should still be quite similar. For example, in the introduction, what sorts of features would you expect to see in your introduction? I would expect to see rhetorical questions. So I'm going to write rhetorical question. And the introduction should tell you what the whole non-chronological report will be about. So bullet point, what your non-chronological report will be about. Fantastic. And then you have about 3 paragraphs that you could separate your non-chronological report into. You can write more paragraphs if you have more sections. But if we were to say that you're going to have just the 3 paragraphs, the way to separate your ideas could be by looking at your mind map and seeing how you've separated your ideas there. So for example, I've already got 4 sections there. I've got early life, fun facts, what they did, and physical appearance. So I think paragraph 1, I'm going to base it around early life. So I'm going to write Malcolm X's early life. And then I could write where he was born. Just to remind myself, when I look at my box up, what am I meant to include in my first paragraph? Where he was born, details to do with that. So that is what paragraph 1 could be all about. And then paragraph 2, I'm going to look back at my mind map and see, right, so I've included early life now. What else could I include? What could I include in my second paragraph? I could include what they did. So I go back to my box up, go to paragraph 2, write a subheading. So what, and I'm going to make it interesting. Rather than write a sentence, I'm going to write a question. So what did Malcolm X do? And then in another bullet point, I could just write something specific that he did. Again, it will be different to what you've written unless your leader, the leader that you've chosen, did something similar to Malcolm X. But what Malcolm X did was stand up for Black rights. So I'm just going to write that just again as a reminder. What did he do? I wrote stand up. I should be writing that in the past tense because your non-chronological report should be written in the past tense because these are all events and facts from the past. So that should be in the past tense. Stand is present, stood is past. Stood up for Black people's rights. So again, like I said, when you're writing your non-chronological report, the reason why we have a box up, the number 1 reason is so we aren't spending too much time thinking about ideas and thinking about things to say. You can just look at this one box up and there are all of your ideas. And hopefully you'll have a little bit more than I do, but because of space, I'm not able to write as much. But hopefully you at home and at school will be able to. And then paragraph 3, Let's look back at my mind map. I've included early life. I've included what they did. Physical appearance could be the next section. So paragraph 3, again, I could do another question. What did Malcolm, make sure you at home are saying it, X, how can I end that? What did Malcolm X look like? And then remember, your questions should always end with a question mark. And then again, just to remind myself, I could write, he wore glasses. And then I could also write, he wore a blazer, which if you look at his pictures, most of the time he did always have a blazer. Not always, but he did sometimes have a blazer on. There we go. And then if I go back to my mind map, I'm going to tick physical appearance because we have mentioned that. Now the fun fact has its own section here. So here I'm going to write my fun fact. I'm also going to write that I want this to be short and snappy. Short, snappy sentences, because fun facts are fun for that reason. You're just quickly able to get information without having to read a long passage of writing. So short, snappy sentences. And then I'll write the fun fact that I found out about him, which is that he moved around a lot. There we go. And then your conclusion. Now, I think that a conclusion of a non-chronological report should summarize the report. It should tell you what you've just read about. So now you know all about Malcolm X's life, early life. Now you know who Malcolm X was and what he did. So a conclusion summarizes the non-chronological report. Non-chronological report. There we go. And then in terms of your vocabulary box, or what is included in there, those are words that you want to make sure you include. They're your keywords. So a big keyword for us would be leader. Another keyword could be powerful. What's another keyword that you want to include in your writing? Let me think if there's anything else I could include. I would include trustworthy. Somebody that you can trust will do a good job, because it's a big, big job to be a leader. 3 words there: leader, powerful, and trustworthy. So writing those in your vocabulary box then makes sure that you have a reminder that you need to include these in your non-chronological report. So that is what my box up looks like. You will get a chance now to do one of your own. That is your first task. Your first task, box up the ideas for the final hot task. Now remember, think about the leader that you chose last lesson to do your research on. Think about them. That's the leader that you're now going to be doing your box up for. Once you have finished your box up, task number 2 is to create a tick list of things that need to be included in the non-chronological report. And then task number 3 is to create a diagram or picture that can go with the non-chronological report, making sure that it has a caption. So what I would do is I would either draw a picture of Malcolm X, or I would find a picture of him, put it into my I wouldn't actually put it in my box up. I'd maybe just stick it on a piece of paper and then write at the bottom of it, or next to it, on top of it, and not on the picture because you won't be able to read the writing. I would maybe write Malcolm X, and then if he's doing something specific, I would write that. So Malcolm X writing his book, or Malcolm X playing football. Whatever they're doing in the picture, I would then make sure to write that as my caption, just so when someone's looking at that picture, they know exactly what's going on. And you might be thinking, if they've read my non-chronological report, they should know who the person is. However, it makes it as easy as possible. You need to pretend that your reader wouldn't think like that. And also, one thing that I haven't yet mentioned is your diagram or your picture doesn't necessarily have to be a picture of your leader. It could be something to do with them. So I could have a picture of Nebraska and I could caption it, "This is a picture of Nebraska. This is where Malcolm X was born." You know, it doesn't have to be his or her face. It can just be something that's related to them, connected to them. If I was being spoken of, you could do a picture of my favorite food, and just write, this is a picture of Miss Schoolzar's favorite food. Do you know what I mean? It's something related to them. You could do a picture of them if you'd like to, but maybe to make things a little bit more interesting, you could do something that doesn't have their face on it, and that's then why you have to do a caption, because it wouldn't be as easy to tell what's happening in the picture, what the picture is about. So with that said, I will leave you to it, Williams class, boys and girls. Enjoy your box up, enjoy creating your tick list, and then your diagram is something that I'm looking forward to seeing if you get around to doing it. I'll see you very, very soon. Stay safe. Bye.